As Spider-Man No Way Home's release date steadily approaches, I thought it'd be time to talk about 4 characters that I believe should appear in the movie. As most people know, there have been rumors about lots of characters who could appear in this movie, such as by the people just on the screen right now. You got Matt Murdock, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and then villains from those universes. Really, just so many characters who have been rumored to appear in that movie. So I just wanted to go over 4 that I believe should appear in this movie, and I'll give my thoughts on how they could appear and maybe what it could mean for the future of the characters, and just how it could be done in what capacities. So, before I get into that, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow DM Reviews on Twitter. Link should be in the description. Also, make sure to check out Demeric Commissions in the Discord server below for great thumbnails, profile pictures, photo backgrounds, and so much more. So the first person I want to discuss is Matt Murdock, played by Charlie Cox. I've talked about this character in a couple of videos before, and in case I didn't make it clear in those, I love this portrayal of the character. He is, and I truly mean this, my favorite portrayal of a superhero ever. I think the Daredevil TV show was fantastic. I really loved it. It's my favorite superhero movie or TV show. So obviously I would be thrilled by the possibility of him returning. So while I think there might be a problem with him returning in this movie, which I'll discuss, I think it is just it's too much to pass up. It's this character, getting more of this character is just too much for me to say no to, because I just loved how Charlie Cox played the character. My worry with this would be that, one, they might ruin the character. It's a problem, but that's really a problem I have with all these characters, is that you never know if these creative teams will fully understand the character. I know reason to believe they won't, but every successful character does have reasons they worked, and if you're not using the same creative team, there's always a chance that they will not perform well in that movie. So while obviously I would be thrilled if he was in there, I'd also be worried that they might take away from the show. But at the end of the day, I always still have that Daredevil TV show, so I can just ignore this movie if I want to. So yeah, I'd be thrilled if he was in this movie, and I think the best way to have him in this movie is don't even have him as Daredevil. Just have him be Matt Murdock. Have it a continuation of the show, and he's just a lawyer now. He's just, Peter, obviously he's going to be in some law trouble, so maybe just for a scene or two, he talks to Matt Murdock about him being his lawyer. He goes over, the uphill battle he's going to have to go through, and then he says, you know what, I'm not really interested right now, I'm going to try to figure this out my own way, and then he goes to Doctor Strange to figure out how they can fix this with the spell. I think that would be a lot better than him fighting with Matt side by side, just because I don't know why why Matt would be dealing with this stuff right now. That's not what he does. He's not fighting the Green Goblin or anything. So I think it would be best just to have him as a lawyer, and then if you want to show more of him as Daredevil, then you can do season 4, because I do have a video on the channel which you should check out where I do discuss how the MCU should introduce Daredevil. That's on the channel, and I really do discuss how I believe this character can be continued. So so yeah, I wouldn't really put him as Daredevil in this, rather than just Matt Murdock. So the second character I want to discuss is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. So he is, along with Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, who I'll probably get to, he has been so heavily rumored, and I know that there are lots of rumors, and same with pretty much everybody on this list, that they are in the movie. I understand, I've heard, I think, all of them, and I'm not saying that they aren't in the movie, but I'm not going to believe that I don't think I'll believe that they're in this movie until either A, I watch the movie and they're in it, B, they are confirmed to be in it through trailers, or, just official confirmation from the actors, or C, I hear enough, I just need to hear something more specific. I need to see, the Twitter account say something official, breaking, the Spider-Man No Way Home account, who's that on set, and then it's Tobey Maguire. I need something like that for me to say, oh yeah, he's definitely in this movie. So yeah, for me, he's not in this movie till he is. So I do think he should be in this movie, though, because I think the potential of a live-action Spider-Verse could be really cool. Because, I loved Tobey Maguire's portrayal of the character, and I'll get that soon, but I loved Andrew Garfield's portrayal, too. Well, I thought he did a good job with what he was given. So, yeah, I would love to see Tobey Maguire back, and I think the best way to do this is, I discussed this in my review for Spider-Man 3, which is on the channel, that I actually kind of like Spider-Man 3, and I think it is especially that final scene with him and MJ dancing, I think it is pretty much the perfect send-off to this character, so I don't think he should be in it too much, which I feel like I'm going to say about all these characters, just because I don't want them to ruin how the characters ended. So I think what I would really want is him to just kind of come in, maybe mentor Peter a little bit. He's an older Spider-Man. Maybe you could talk to him about Uncle Ben, and maybe he could teach him I guess this Peter already has an Uncle Ben, but, you get what I'm saying. He could kind of mentor him about being Spider-Man and growing up and accepting. He can also hammer home this idea of with great power comes great responsibility. It's I'm sorry, you can't have it all. Stuff like that. And then, maybe he could even die. That would be maybe that would be a good send-off to his characters if he dies, defending the multiverse, he, takes down the Green Goblin or something, and then I don't know if you'd want him to kill anybody, because that's not really how the Spider-Man operates, but I feel like maybe him dying could be a nice send-off to the character, so maybe that would be kind of nice. So I mean, obviously it'd be sad, but I think it might be a good send-off to the characters. And number 3 is Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. He was really never given the great opportunity. Like, I thought both of his Spider-Man movies are pretty bad, but he's really good as a character. I don't know what I think of his portrayal, but Andrew Garfield is a great actor, and he does a great job. So I think if you have the opportunity to get this great actor playing Spider-Man, you just got to do it. Like, and this is actually one where I wouldn't necessarily want a Spider-Man 4, but I would be so up for an Amazing Spider-Man 3 where you actually get a different. Where I mean, you could even bring back Mark Webb because I know he has directed some somewhat good projects. So you could bring him back, just give them more like ability to do what they want to do. Like it was very clear that like Avi Arad and other producers at Sony seem to have a lot of interference with those movies. Like let the directors and the writers make the movie they want to make, because I think that's what people want. Like they want to see the movie that if the director doesn't even like his own movie, chances are people aren't going to like that movie. So I think an Amazing Spider-Man 3 could actually have a lot of potential, and just kind of maybe you could make him the Spider-Man of this Venom universe. So then you can really have him continue to play a big part, and then just Tom Holland Spider-Man's completely separate. So I think I would honestly rather he have a big role in this movie than Tobey Maguire. Not because I like this portrayal more, just I don't think he's going to ruin anything for me, because I'm already not super on this train of this Spider-Man, so it's not going to ruin anything for me, and I think it'll just kind of be cool to see him on screen again. So now I'm going to talk about the fourth one, and I just want to warn, I'm not going to say which movie, because that's kind of a spoiler in itself, but I am going to just say spoiler for a more recent superhero movie. I'm not going to say which one, so if you're not totally up to date on the last few superhero movies that have come out, then you might want to step away, because there's going to be some spoilers, so, so the fourth person on my list is Venom. So to all of those who have seen the new Venom movie, he is now seemingly in the MCU, at least for a little bit. And I think it makes sense for him to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. I think Venom 3 should probably go back to his own universe, and I think we should just get it out of the way with this movie. I think he could also be in a lot of this movie. Like, I would love to see him really interact with Tom Holland Spider-Man. And I think he would be kind of like cool if he thinks that Tom Holland is a villain, so then he's trying to fight him. And that's how you can kind of keep what we know about this character but you can still allow him to be a villain. So you can kind of have it both ways. And I think that's a pretty effective way to do it. And it wouldn't make me mad. It wouldn't ruin either of the Venom movies. So I think that'd be a pretty cool way to introduce him. My main problem with all of these ideas is that I'm worried that they will take away time from the characters. Like, this movie should focus on the characters we know. MJ, Aunt May, Ned, Peter. I don't want it to be a movie just with cameos and fan service. Like, I want to really focus on the story of our main characters. Like, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies, one of the best things about them was that they were always focused on the stories of their main characters, Peter, MJ, and Harry. I'm worried that if we introduce all these other characters, it will take away the focus of them into this broader universe of characters, where while obviously it's interesting to have all these villains and heroes show up from other universes, I don't want that to be put as a precedence over our main characters. So if they could handle this well, I think this could be a fantastic movie. But if all these characters are in this movie, then there's a potential for this movie to be a disaster. So make sure to comment what you think of these characters, and if you're worried about so many people being in the movie, and if there's anybody else who I left off this list that you would really want to be in this movie that has not been confirmed yet.